Hi everybody, welcome to Mommy Mondays. It is Monday today, and this is where I talk about the joys of being a mom, the joys of what I grew up with my mom and my grandmother, how they raised me, any like the items that I used during the week that I loved the most, his moments that I treasured the most during the week, and just all those other kinds of things. And I'm sure this is just the first one. As I go along, it'll get a lot better. Okay, so Mr. Man is kind of heavy, and I think I'm going to put him on his tummy for tummy time. So I just fed him. Ooh. Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. Put your arm up. Put your arm up. Very good. Very good. There we go, Mr. Tummy Time. Okay, so while he's going to be doing some tummy time, I'm just going to reposition the pillow behind the back. I'm going to talk about just a lot of different things. First thing I want you to know is my Mondays are my rest day. Like usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm really busy, especially Sunday at church with family things going on, and usually Saturday I go out with my mom or Friday, and I'm just kind of busy on the weekend. So Monday is my downtime, and I'm just in a crummy old tank and my capri pajama bottoms, and Mondays are just my chill day, just my take it easy. The only thing I did this morning was dishes, and that's it. I've been watching old reruns of 90210. Crazy, I know, but that's my thing right now. And so, yeah, I can say when I was growing up, there wasn't a lot of strict rules, but you knew not what to cross. You knew that you could kind of have a little bit of leeway, but you didn't. There was some line somewhere that you couldn't cross. But when I was growing up, in my mom's house, there was just lots of people all over. There's a lot of friends coming over all the time. I wouldn't say it was the party house, but my mom didn't mind sleepovers and like 10 kids camping on the living room floor. She didn't mind that, and so sorry. So my house was kind of like a fun house when I was younger. My grandmother's house, on the other hand, you knew not to lay down with your feet up on the cushions, especially your shoes up on the cushions. She was very, my grandmother, she was just awesome. She was just wonderful. And I remember just so many happy memories with her when I was a youngster, when I was like, 5 years old, 6 years old, and all the way up until, like I graduated school. And after I graduated high school, we had a lot more sleepovers together until I was 25, then she passed. I'm sorry, I have to sit up. This ledge on the windowsill is really hurt my back here. Okay. So, yeah, this week was a good week. It wasn't a bad week. He was good. He wasn't sick at all. Because of the heat though, this week he's not been feeding. He's maybe like an ounce and a half drinker at a time, then he would fall asleep because of heat. And so that's the only thing that kind of went wrong this week. The colic is kind of going away. He used to be very colicky in the beginning, my Mr. Ben, and he's so good. He's such a sweet baby and such a good-natured baby. And the only thing I will say is when he's not in the heat, when he wants to eat, he wants to eat. There is no playing around, mommy. Get my food, get my drink, get my milk, and that's the way it is. And he's just chilling on the floor right now doing tummy time. Yeah. So, another thing you might not know about me or my childhood, when I was growing up, my grandmother wanted everybody to have a good time. And so, during birthdays, whoever's birthday it was, they got the big presents, But my grandmother would buy a couple little things for each of us, or at least one little thing for each of us on everybody else's birthdays, just to make it special. So no one child had the spotlight, and we all had gifts. And I remember years and years ago, I must have been about 7, 8 years old, and we're having a picnic outside up on the lawn. It was a huge lawn. It was a Victorian house. It was just gorgeous. And my grandmother got me like a little strawberry shortcake compact, like a powder puff thing. And I love that thing. I got opened my present that day, and I remember it. Remember how young I was, and I remember where I was sitting, and I remember where she was sitting, and even then, all the way back then, that my grandmother made every birthday special, not just for the birthday kid, but for everybody. So that is one thing that I want to pass on, to my kids, is that when somebody has a birthday, that the birthday kid gets the good presents, the bigger presents, but then there's a little bit each of something, for the younger kids. And I did that with my nieces and nephews when they were younger, at least the ones that have been closest to me, that live close to me. And I might not have done it for every birthday, but I remember I would just buy games at the dollar store just for nothing. So that is one thing that my grandmother did that I would love to pass on to my children as they grow older. Maybe for the first couple of years, probably not, just because they're not going to remember it. But once they start remembering, like the age of 3 and up, I'll probably do that. And that's a wonderful way to get all the kids involved. And I would buy stuff for my niece and my nephews, just for no reason. I'd go to the dollar store, pin the tail on the donkey, or any other games, and oh, you won a prize. Here's the prize, and it's at dollar store. And for the girl, get little headbands or little cute things, and some bubbles for the summertime. So that is one thing that I loved growing up that my grandmother did for us. Is that something that I will always cherish? I will always remember. And that is just something that I'm going to pass on to my kids. And so that is just, I'm kind of running on, but very dear to my heart, my grandmother. Very dear to my heart. I miss her so much. But, the things that she's taught, the things that she did, are going to go on. Are going to, come through her grandchildren, and hopefully, I'm praying, and go on to the next generation. So, so we had a lot of slumber parties. I remember having lots of slumber parties with my girlfriends, especially around like sophomore, junior, senior years, somewhere like more junior, senior, and then on afterwards. I remember having like 7 girls over at the house all at one time, just chilling out, and my mom would just kind of be upstairs out of the way, and my brother would kind of be upstairs out of the way, to let me have that weekend, and babies. Yeah, and I remember just my mom. She wasn't a control freak. She really wasn't. She would just say, who are you going to be with? Where are you going? And what time you're going to be back? I mean, we could go all night and come back at 5 o'clock in the morning. As long as she knew what time I was coming back, or around the vicinity of, she was pretty cool with it, She trusted me that I was going to be responsible and, I'm getting old. The joys of getting old. I know I may look young, but my body's a lot more older than I am. So yeah, that's what I love. And the things that my mom taught me, things that my grandmother taught me, I just really want to share with other people and just pass it along, you know. And I don't know what they're going to be yet, but I want to make my own new traditions, you know, like obviously have those special moments with my children and have those mommy kid moments, you know. Doesn't matter what we're doing, how busy the day gets, how busy everything gets. And I know people hardly do this anymore, but I want to do family night. Probably up until they're about teenagers, because they're not going to want to do it anymore. But I like playing games and getting together and doing charades and kind of making some fun food to go with it, and you know, and just making it really fun. I don't want ever my children to feel the burdens that are on me, you know, that I'd want to protect them from that. So that's why it's important for the family to come together and put down, for goodness sake, all the tablets and all the Nooks and all the iPads and iPods, and put down all the equipment and just sit down at least once a week and have family dinner. And that is another thing that my grandmother taught me. We always had Sunday dinners. And it might not have always worked out beautifully, and the kids, I'm sure we all kind of, you know, like fought from time to time. But my grandmother just kept everybody together because of her Sunday dinners, and, you know, and even though we were hellions at our own house, we knew Grandma's rules. We knew Grandma's rules. And you wouldn't go past Grandma's rules, because she would put her hand on her hip and kind of crook her finger and go like this, and she's gonna lecture you. Yeah. So these are just some things that I want to pass on. Just some wonderful things that I think that just some traditions and values, you know, that so yeah. I don't know what Mommy Monday is going to be all about yet, but I'm excited to start it. I'm excited to create something new and interesting that people are going to love and say, oh yeah, I did that when I was a kid, or I know a friend that did that when we were kids, or, you know, that sounds like a great idea. Maybe I'll start doing that too. So yeah, I'm just really interested in that. How about it? How about it? Oh, it's been so hot lately. I mean, I can't imagine people in Florida and Texas and Arizona, California. I really couldn't. I mean, it's New York and it's 85, 90s, and humidity is just like, oh, can I breathe? So, in 3, 2. Hi everybody, good morning. I just kind of cut the video short yesterday because it was getting later in the day, and with heat and humidity, and my voice just couldn't go anymore. And so this morning, I think I'm just going to do some kind of fun facts about me when I was growing up, the kind of person that I was, and the kind of programs that I liked, and the toys that I liked, and just vacations and stuff like that. So I don't really remember like a first toy, but I can remember some favorite toys. I was back in the generation when Cabbage Patch Kids first came out. And in the 80s, I grew up and I was born in 76. So in the 80s, the Cabbage Patch Kids came out. And I actually still have a picture somewhere in this apartment of my, there's a Cabbage Patch swing. It was green, old vintage 80s. And I had a Cabbage Patch preemie, which it was bald and everything. So that is one of the toys that I loved when I was growing up. Also, one year, I watched all of them. Girly Girl, I watched Rainbow Bright, I watched My Little Ponies, I watched the Care Bears, I watched Strawberry Shortcake, I watched the Smurfs, the Snorks. I don't know if it was Snorks or Snorkels, but it's the Snorks. And there was one with kind of Muppets, but it wasn't Sesame Street yet. Fraggle Rock. I watched Fraggle Rock. And maybe some of you could resonate with me if you're around my age. And I love those. And I even went so far as to bought a Rainbow Bright maybe 7 years ago off of eBay, and I started watching it. I'm like, wow, the stupid things that kids like. But then again, this is, going 20 years later, and the graphics have changed and everything gets better, and you look back and you look like, why was I interested in this, But yeah. And another favorite was, I remember the store we went to. I remember who I went with my mom and my grandfather, and it was my birthday. And they started coming out with the doll sizes, the doll size of strawberry shortcake. I don't know what year, but it was the one where you pushed in the belly and you scratched the belly, and it smelled like strawberries, and you smelled her red little curly hair, and it was just really really cute. I remember her because I loved her very much, and I just played with her a lot. I was a big Barbie person. By the time I got done playing with Barbies, which is, I was very late in life, because I was in that fantasy world, like I've talked about in some of my videos. I was probably really 18. But I had, I think 25 Barbies by the time I was done. And oh, Gem. I was a Gem girl. I love Gem. I love He-Man, She-Ra. I had the Gem car where it had the little radio on the back of the trunk. Yeah, those are just some of the things. And I had this Barbie, I think it's called Barbie Boutique. It's back in the 80s, like around 83, 84, I think. And my grandmother bought it for me. And I love that. Sometimes they have it on eBay for an astronomical price. But that's just one of the things that I remember. I was big in Barbies. And what else? I had this baby doll called Baby Talk. And the only reason I remember it is because I really didn't have a room of my own growing up. I had 3 older brothers, and we had a 3-bedroom house. And obviously my parents had one room. My oldest brother had a room, and pretty much the youngest 3 kids kind of shared a room. And so I really never had a room of my own to put up stuffed animals and stuff. I don't remember where I kept everything, but I think that I remember this baby talk doll, and I had this little pink pajama thing, and it would it'd say hug me, or these things. And I remember it specifically because one night, if you turn it, if you shake it or pick it up or anything, it wakes up and it starts doing the automatic program that it was programmed to do. And one night, I think that it fell in my parents' room, on the floor. On the floor. And I just kept on saying, turn me over, turn me over, turn me over, turn me over. But it wasn't it was turn me over, like that. And it was just really so cute. So that's why I remember that. And so yeah, it was just, growing up was fun. I love being a little girl growing up. Just loved all the dolls and all the toys and My Little Ponies. And back then, I'm not sure if they had the small strawberry shortcakes like they do now. They had not almost kind of like a troll-like doll. It was kind of short and thick, and like a troll-like kind of body-ish. But if you're my age, you remember it. Not, then, they have the smaller, thinner ones now. But yeah, that's just some of the things that I did, that I had when I grew up and that I loved. And my father worked, as a manager at ShopRite, and at many different ShopRites, and he would bring home sing-along songs. I don't know if anybody remember those sing-along songs back in the 80s, 90s, and I remember a lot of the Shirley Temples, Zippity Doodah. Yeah, Shirley Temple was, I wouldn't say that she was a favorite, but my mom really liked her from I guess my mom growing up. I don't know if that went way back. Yeah, but I liked a couple of them. So that's just as far as toys for my kids growing up. I don't know they're gonna like, and I'm certainly not gonna do anything like Crown of Thrones or Pokemon or anything like that. Nothing really secular. Like I'll let them have toys and stuff like that. But if it has anything to do with like evil or witchery, that is a big no-no, because I'm not gonna do that. That is just, for me, that's no thank you. And so just give me a second. I need to drink some water. Okay, well, I'm only going to be talking for a couple more minutes because it's already a 20-minute video, and how much can you just sit here and listen to somebody talk? So, I think the one awesome thing that I'm going to instill on my children is you can do and be anything that you want to do. As long as it's making you happy and it's self-supporting. I don't need you to be rich, but I need you to support yourself. So as long as you're doing something and have a job that you're clocking in at or doing whatever, as long as you're getting that paycheck and that job is safe and you're happy in it, then that's all I care about. You know, that you're supporting yourself and any woman turned into wife come along, and children, yeah. Okay, so I think that I ought to end this video. There has been enough time of me talking and yapping away. So, plus Benjamin doesn't have any really achievements yet. He's still really new and small, but next week I will probably do my favorite items for him and my favorite items for me, and just something else. Who knows? Hopefully, my muse will have inspired me by next week. So I get something really solid going. All right. So God bless y'all. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you soon. Have a good week. And also, are you ready? I'm going to do a giveaway very soon. Very soon. Videos coming up. So I will see you soon. Did I say that already? Okay. Bye.